Hi guys, it's ASBYT and welcome back to a brand new video. Now, in yesterday's video, I mentioned that the possibility that Amazon are due to discontinue the Fire TV box 2nd generation, and in the pipeline, there is due to be some more products in order to compete with the launch of the Apple TV 5th generation. Well, in today's video, that 5th generation is the device we're going to be talking about. Yeah, so like I said, in yesterday's video, I mentioned that Amazon are looking to produce a new product. There are a couple of products rumoured, one sort of mid-tier dongle, and then one almost cube-like in structure, and that's going to be for a more high-end to kind of replace the Fire TV box 2nd generation. And this is all to try and grab that market share again from Apple, which it seems to be doing very, very well at the moment in the streaming world. But yesterday was the launch of the new Apple products, and the actual convention showcased 3 different products. Well, actually 4, believe it or not, and we'll get to that. The first one was, of course, the Apple Watch, the 3rd generation of that. Mixed opinions about the Apple Watch in general. Apparently, it's now the leading watch in the world in terms of sales, ahead of Rolex, which was top last year and Apple was 2nd. The second presentation was, of course, which a lot of people were interested in seeing, the Apple iPhone. Now, of course, I have it here, the latest, that's an iPhone 6, don't be ridiculous. It was split into 3 different releases. We had the iPhone 8, the iPhone 8 Plus, and the iPhone X or iPhone 10. Bit odd, because the iPhone 8 felt like an iPhone 7.5, and the iPhone 10 or X should have been a 9. So it's a bit odd. They've sort of just completely left 9 out of the way. Question is, who's buying the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus? Because yes, the specs are improved, but the actual design and everything is exactly the same, pretty much, as the iPhone 7. Why would you not just either stay with the iPhone 7 or jump to that the new, more immersive looking iPhone 10? Again, let me know in the comment section below if you are one of these people that is going to be buying the iPhone and which one you are going to go for. Okay, so moving on from that, the main point of this video is, of course, we're going to be looking at the Apple TV 5th generation, some of the specs, and whether I think personally, from my point of view, it's going to be a good purchase for you. And again, I want your feedback in the comment section below to let me know whether you think it's going to compete with the new Amazon products or Android boxes in general. Okay, so jumping on to some of the specs about the Apple TV 5th generation. Firstly, it has now 4K HDR support. So HDR10 and HDR Dolby Vision support. They've also now doubled the speed of the processor. In terms of the interface, it's had a facelift in terms of 4K, so it now is in 4K, but it looks the same. So there's been no change in the interface, it is just now in 4K. You might be a fan of the old interface. I personally like to see changes every time there's a new product, so I would like to see not only in 4K, I would like to see slightly altered interface, because there are certain kinks in the system that I would like to see changed. We've also, in terms of movies, for example, if you want to purchase movies from iTunes, they are now going to be in 4K for the same price as HD was. And of course, older HD movies that you've already purchased, if you had the old generation, they're now upgrading them to 4K for you, free of charge. Now, the next point is a bit of a biggie for when you're talking about comparisons with Amazon. They've actually agreed with Amazon to provide Amazon Prime content, and I'm referring to the 4K content in this case, HDR supported. So if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can watch it through the Apple TV. As well as the 4K HDR support for Amazon Prime, they're also doing exactly the same with Netflix. So again, if you've got a Netflix account, there is 4K HDR support there for you. In terms of the Apple TV app, it is due to launch in, as well as the US, it's due to launch in Canada and Australia very imminently. And there are also, I believe, 5 or 6 more countries that it is being pushed out to by the end of this year. And that includes the UK, France, Germany, a few other European countries, I believe. There may be somewhere further afield. And this might be a biggie for sports fans. The way they've got the interface working is that if you've got a specific favourite team, for example, and there's a game coming on, they use the example at the conference of ESPN, for example. So if you have the ability to watch that channel, it will flash up with when the program's on. It'll come up first as soon as you turn the Apple TV on, so it is like a reminder of the different live sports that are coming through. So again, if you're a sports fan and you have those packages, then great. If you don't have those packages, then there's not really much change because you won't be able to watch them. Right, I'm going to talk price now, and then I'm going to talk my honest opinion about the new 5th gen Apple TV and whether I think it's good for you. I did forget launch date, which I believe is the 22nd of September. So from the 22nd of September, you can get your hands on the Apple TV Generation 5. Price, it's going to start at, in US dollars, at around 180 US dollars, which works out roughly, Google currency translate, convert, it's not a translation. So that translates to around, I've said it again, it converts to around 135 UK sterling, which is still more expensive than the Amazon products that are currently on the market. And as far as I'm aware, the new Amazon product is due to be cheaper than that as well. So we talk price, so there's a negative on the price point. That is one of the reasons potentially you may not want to buy the new 5th generation Apple TV. The second point, which you might not want to buy, is again, for you guys who are into streaming, you're into having apps that are there to stream, you are going to struggle, as always with Apple products, to actually get those functioning on the device. Yes, you've got all of the support that comes through iTunes and Netflix and Amazon Prime, for example, on your Apple TV, and in 4K and HDR support, which is great. However, people that like KODI and everything like that, can you get KODI onto the Apple TV? Yes. Is it more difficult? Yes. Is it far more complicated than it needs to be? Yes. So for you guys who don't want to spend time, hours and money sorting it out, you're probably going to go with an Amazon product or an Android product, which is far more customizable. Like with Android phones, a lot of people who don't like Apple iPhones use Android phones for that same reason. It's a lot easier to customize, it's a lot easier to download certain apps that aren't available in the rigid structure of the platform, and that's my honest opinion. Yes, it's going to look like a great bit of kit, and the new processor, which is doubling the speed, is going to be amazing, and it's going to work really, really rapid, and you're not going to have lags or anything like that, but it's too expensive compared to similar products, in my opinion. But then Apple always are more expensive than their competitors, and they still sell. So what do I know? And two, is it still too difficult to just do what you want to do? Yes. And they are the two main reasons why I feel Apple will still not take that area of the market share. That's pretty much it, guys. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of the Apple TV 5th generation, whether it's something that you are going to purchase regardless of some of the negatives, but due to the actual positives and certain changes that you see this year. Let me know which changes you like and are, you know, leading you into a purchase for it when it comes out on the 22nd of September. Also, let me know if you're still not an Apple fan when it comes to streaming, and you may even have an Apple iPhone, but you obviously would prefer an Android box or an Amazon product for your media streaming. Again, let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'll try and go through as many as I can and answer as many questions as I can if you have any. Remember to like and share if you did enjoy this video and found it helpful. Subscribe and hit that little notification bell if you're new to the channel and want to be notified every time I post a video. And I'll see you in the next one. Say ASBYT, peace out.